Shabbat had just ended. "What would you like to eat?" Hacham Ezra Hamway's wife asked him. "It is time to say goodbye to the Shabbat queen." "I would love a plate filled with Mejedra," he replied. "I so enjoy that delicious delicacy of rice and lentils, served together with yogurt." "Mejedra?" asked his wife. "But that will take a very long time to prepare, and it is so expensive. Do you really want me to prepare Mejedra for you?" "No, no," answered her husband. "Of course not. You asked me what I wanted, so I just told you what I was in the mood for, not what I wanted you to bother preparing." They both laughed. As soon as he finished speaking, there was a loud knock at the door. The cook of a wealthy Aleppo Jew entered the house. She was very upset, and tears streamed down her cheeks. "My mistress asked me to prepare a pot of Mejedra," she explained. "By mistake, I cooked it in a meat pot, and then added yogurt. Now my mistress is very angry, and wants to fire me, because she says the food is not kosher. I am a widow with 4 children to feed. Please, Hacham, tell me what to do." Hacham Ezra asked the cook a few detailed questions to understand exactly how the food had been prepared. After deliberating for a short while, he declared, "The Mejedra is kosher. There is nothing for you to worry about." The cook happily returned to her mistress's house, only to come back 15 minutes later, knocking on the door. "My mistress did not believe me," she explained. "My mistress claims that you only said it was kosher so that I would not be fired. She wants you to eat it, to prove that it is indeed kosher." "Then take my plate back to your mistress's home," he told her. "Bring me back a large portion filled with Mejedra. You can then tell her that you saw me eat it, and she will understand that the food is kosher." After the cook left, Hacham Ezra's wife spoke. "I am happy that you made peace between the cook and her mistress. But what most amazes me is that Hashem provided you with the very delicacy you wanted, at the very moment you said you wanted it. Clearly, Hashem loves you." Hacham Ezra Atiyah was the Rosh Yeshiva at Yeshiva Porat Yosef in Jerusalem for many years. But he was very poor. Each day he would eat only a slice of pita bread. On some days he would add an egg to one of his meals. Sukkot was quickly approaching. Hacham Ezra wanted his wife, Belisa, to have a special new dress for the coming Yom Tov. For many months, each week, he put a few groshim into a jar in the kitchen. 3 weeks before Yom Tov, upon returning home from yeshiva, he sat down to talk to his wife. "My dear Belisa," he said, "you are such a good wife. You do so much for me, and I give you so little in return. This Yom Tov, I want to give you a special present. I saved up 500 groshim so that you can go to the store and buy fabric for a new dress for yourself." Belisa was excited. "You make me so happy," she told her husband. "I will buy fabric today, then rush to the dressmaker and order a dress so it will be ready in time for Yom Tov." In 2 weeks, the dress was ready, and Belisa went to pick it up. While trying on the dressmaker began to cry. "What is the matter?" Belisa asked. "Why are you so sad?" The dressmaker slowly told her story. "My daughter is getting married in a few weeks," she sobbed, "and I cannot afford to sew her a new dress for the wedding." Without a second thought, Belisa took off the dress she had just tried on and gave it to the dressmaker. "Here, take this," she said. "It is my wedding present for your daughter." With tears of thanks in her eyes, the dressmaker accepted the generous gift. That evening, when Hacham Ezra came home, Belisa told him the story of the dress and of her act of tzedakah. "Did you pay her for the dress?" asked her husband. "Pay her for the dress? I gave her the dress for free," answered Belisa. "But you hired her to make that dress for you. Do you expect this poor woman to work for 2 weeks, sewing a dress, and not receive any payment? What do you expect her to live on? Please go there tonight and pay the woman the price you agreed to pay her." Belisa understood the greatness of the tzaddik she had married. She rushed to the dressmaker and paid her the full amount it cost to sew the dress. There were years when the Jews of Syria would become fearful as Pesach grew closer. They heard that people were making up stories about their children being killed by Jews. One night, Chacham Dayan woke up from a horrible nightmare. He dreamt the Torah scrolls in the synagogue were on fire. I must get up and see if this is true, he thought. He opened his window to look out. I don't smell any smoke, he thought. I don't see any flames or smoke in the synagogue. Chacham Dayan went back to bed. No doubt this had just been a bad dream. He fell asleep, but he had the exact same dream. He woke up again, trembling. I had the same horrible nightmare twice in the same night, he said to his wife as he got dressed. I must go to the synagogue right away and see if there is a problem. Upon entering the synagogue, Chacham Dayan saw that all was quiet. He opened the ark. It all seems fine here, he thought. Why did I have these horrible nightmares? As he began to close the ark, he noticed a small bottle hidden behind one of the Torahs. It was filled with blood. He grabbed the bottle, spilled out the blood, and washed it. Then he refilled the bottle with red wine. Chacham Dayan walked back home and went back to bed. But soon there was a loud knock on his door. Open up in there! It's the police! Give me the keys to the synagogue, demanded the chief of police. I was informed that you killed a poor child and hid his blood in the synagogue. Now you plan to use his blood to bake matzah for your holiday. He handed the synagogue keys to the policeman. The chief of police began his search. Check inside their ark, one person remarked. I heard that is where they keep it. The chief of police opened the ark. Immediately he saw the bottle filled with red liquid. What is this? He demanded. You do have blood in here. He smelled the contents of the bottle. It smelled like wine. Then he tasted a drop. It was wine. His face grew red with anger. He turned to the person who brought him to the synagogue. This is why you woke me in the middle of the night? To taste wine? There's no blood here. The next morning the rabbi told the people what had happened the night before. They all said prayers thanking Hashem for saving them. Thank you for listening. Please don't forget to like and subscribe.